Hello, hello. Hope everyone can hear me. Just give me a thumbs up in the chat if it all sounds all right. And yeah, guys, happy to be back. Thanks for some of the supporters for the last session. And today I'm pretty excited to share with you guys some progress, pretty important progress for the product of Arcaden. And essentially, the feature that we'll be talking about today is called Burn Island, right? So for many of you who have been around with us since the initial launch of the gem campaign, this would be a really important feature for essentially the early adopters in our community. But if you are brand new, you have no idea what V1 gems are, don't worry. It's still applicable to you in the future, just not now. And you can still be a part of it, right? So without further ado, I'm just gonna go right in. Right, so essentially, Burn Island was an idea that came about for two main reasons, right? The first reason was because we wanted to, shift our NFTs to a different contract. So we needed to find a way for our original supporters to burn their NFTs in order to mint them on a different contract, right? So that was how Burn Island came into conception as an idea. And of course, the second idea that kind of add on to that was that, if we could burn our own NFTs and to allow users to mint new ones, couldn't we do the same for other NFTs that are out there, that happen to lose their value? Some of you guys, if you've been to questing platforms, you probably have like hundreds of NFTs in your wallets that aren't worth anything, they have no utility, etc. And I think the goal of Burn Island is to allow you guys to eventually burn these NFTs and actually mint gems, right, as sort of like a recycling feature. So that's how Burn Island came about. Again, I think there's a little bit uh, of going back to the past for those of you who are new. So V1 Gems was the original gem NFT campaign that was launched on Galaxy, and it's a completely different contract, right? So in terms of V1 Gems, for those of you who own one of the 3.5 million V1 Gems that are still around today, you will be able to use the first version of Burn Island in order to burn these gems and essentially get the collectibles out of them, right? And so this was V1 gems, and once you get the collectibles essentially act as whitelists that will allow you to mint the V2 gems on the new contract once that is released. Now, you can still get collectibles from the Arcaden chest, but of course, for those of you who have existing V1 gems, this is just an opportunity to get more, right? So Burn Island, the main feature for the first version is for all V1 gem NFT holders to burn their V1 gems using Arcaden credits to pay for the gas in order to acquire the collectibles and subsequently mint them out as V2s, right? So, for Burn Island, you're able to burn individual gems. So for some of you, you may only want to convert maybe the rainbow gems, right? You don't want to burn like the 500 purple gems that you have. That is an option. Alternatively, if you decide to convert your entire collection, there's also a burn all feature that is included in the release. So this is just a preview of what Burn Island looks like. I will show you guys like how it works just really briefly. And essentially, when you come to this page, you'll be able to see the drop down with all of the NFTs that you own in your wallet. If it was your first time interacting with this page, you'll be required to pay a little bit of BNB just to approve the contract, right? And then subsequently, you can select which NFTs you would like to burn. So, for example, if I wanted to burn my gold gems, I have 3 of them in my wallet. I'm able to select up to 3 and actually burn the NFT. If I went ahead with this, the calculations would run and they will tell you how much it would actually cost in terms of the gas, right? So this is just an estimated fee. It's going to be really close to the actual number. Sometimes it'll be lower, sometimes it'll be higher, but be relatively close. And when you proceed, the actual credits that will be deducted may differ really slightly. But let's say 36 credits, I have 654. So if I was to continue, I'm just going to approve this transaction. So 654 minus 36, it was exact this time around. It's not always going to be exact, but most of the times it would be. So transaction is successful. And if you went to your account and you look at your profile, you can just see like it just hopped from 1 to 4, right? So it'd be automatically credited. So you can have the option to burn individual gems, or you can have the option to burn all, right? So the burn all feature allows you to burn basically up to 200 gems in one transaction. It will automatically pick the rarest gems in your collection in descending order. And basically, if you have anything less than 200 gems, you're just going to burn all of them, right? So it just saves you a lot of time from burning every single one individually. If, let's say, I clicked on burn all here, it would calculate the fee. And let's say 71 credits, total NFTs burn is 32. There's actually a list here. So you could, take a screenshot to make sure that, okay, these are the NFTs that you are burning. And also to just check your profile before you burn to make sure that you're actually credited the collectibles. But we've done some testing since a few days ago, and seems to be working just fine. So shouldn't have any issues. If there's some issues with regards to collectibles being credited to your account, you don't have to worry, because if the NFT is burned, it is on chain, so we have a record of the data. So that's mainly it for the feature. It is actually already live on production. It's just not publicly released yet. We are planning to release this tomorrow. So for all of you who are in this AMA, who happen to see the URL that I am not supposed to publicly release yet, you can actually access it like right now. But we've basically fixed all the bugs over the last few days. We've been testing it, and we're pretty confident that it's going to work. So yeah, you guys basically get a head start just because you're here in this AMA. Yeah. So I just wanted to put that out because Felix was spending 5 minutes addressing that. But yeah, so we're very excited to push this out. One of two reasons. The first reason is, we're able to now essentially transit from version 1 gems to collectibles. And the next major feature that we'll be launching is the minting of V2 gems together with the Arcaden leak, right? So what is the Arcaden leak exactly, right? I'm sure you guys have seen it mentioned on our socials, on the roadmap as well, but we've never really spoken about it in detail. So I would say like the Arcaden leak essentially is the main earning feature that will be released on Arcaden. And there will be several iterations of it, right? The first version is going to be very similar to the previous gem leaderboard, where you're given points according to how many NFTs you own. The rarer ones will give you more points, and as a result, you'll be ranked according to how many points you have. The main difference is that there are basically going to be multiple modes where you're able to compete on the league. So one of them, of course, is individually, right? Which is what we had before. A few things that we're working on is eventually introducing a guild feature. And that would be, collective, right? As a guild, how many points do you have? And there will be a separate pool of earnings for the guild leaderboard. Some of the things that we're also planning to introduce is like, say, how many quests you've gone on, you've managed to complete it. These are all tied into future features that we're planning to build, which is why, we've taken quite a long time in order to kind of put all of these things together, right? So we've been testing it since a year ago when we first released the gem leaderboard, and the Arcaden League first version will be very similar, but then we're planning to push out a lot of expansions onto it in the next few months. So, what's next for Burn Island specifically? I think the next few things would be to explore using the Burn Island feature for other NFTs, like we've mentioned, right? So, some of you are familiar with Supply Crates, which was part of the Salad Adventures campaign that we launched before. So we will be allowing you to burn those crates in order to get certain collectibles, right? We're also planning to create one for the oats from Galaxy. If you guys don't know, just on BNB chain, there are 10 million oats, right, from Galaxy. Just on BNB chain alone, I don't even know how many on Polygon, probably like 5 times the amount. And a lot of these oats don't have any value or utility because you just get one of them for attending an AMA, and that's pretty much it, right? So because a lot of our community is familiar with Galaxy, this is probably one of the first collections that we would be looking to integrate into Burn Island. And other NFTs in the future, these may include campaigns that we run with other projects or campaigns that we run on other platforms, right? So just a little bit of alpha. I think some of you have noticed that a few days ago, we launched a Key to Arcaden campaign on Galaxy on Polygon, right? So that's one of the things that we're also testing and planning to release. So the Key to Arcaden will be our go-to NFT for any campaign that we launch on questing platforms like Galaxy, Quest and Interact, some of these other platforms that we're exploring. The plan there is to allow people to mint the keys for completing all of those quests. And then subsequently, they bring the keys to Arcaden, they burn them, and they use them to open chests, right? So it allows them to basically have an opportunity to learn about who we are and then bring them into the Arcaden and Salad ecosystem. And yeah, essentially the recycling program, I think that is the next major step in terms of development for the Burn Island in itself. The rest of this article is really just to show you how to burn. If you were here earlier on, I demonstrated it. It's pretty simple and intuitive. Otherwise, you'll probably be able to watch the replay of this AMA for those of you who missed it earlier. And yeah, I think essentially that's pretty much it for Burn Island in itself. For the rest of today's session, it's really just to focus on any questions that you guys may have. And yeah, I think that is pretty much it on Burn Island. Yeah, great question. So, unfortunately, OpenSea doesn't support new listings on BNB chain anymore, but there are still a lot of existing old listings that you guys can purchase from. Aside from OpenSea, there's also Tofu NFT, Element, as well as OKX. So I'm just going to drop a link below. This is the World of Arcaden, the Gem NFT series. So if you just copy the smart contract and go to the respective platforms, you will be able to purchase the gems, right? So just to add on that, there are also going to be a handful of gems that were introduced in V1 that will actually not be reintroduced in V2. So the only way you can get them is by burning the V1 versions. Just a handful of you would probably know what I'm talking about, but these were materials that were introduced, but were never actually formed into any weapons or any utility back in the day. So for you guys who actually know what I'm talking about, good for you. Otherwise, the rest of you have to find out. Yeah, for sure. So I think the main thing about the minting, the upcoming minting process is that everything will be on Arcaden. And the whole reason of implementing a relayer is so that you're not required to have crypto different types of crypto for different chains, right? All you need is Arcaden credits. You just pay a very small fee for the minting, which covers the gas. And essentially, that's pretty much it, right? And with the new contract, you're actually able to accumulate all of the different collectibles before minting them at one go, right? So previously, even if you had 100 purple gems, like Felix said earlier, you would have to mint them individually. But now you can kind of keep, let's say collect, let's say 1,000 purple gem collectibles, and then just mint them all in one transaction, and it costs you like probably 10 credits, if not, around that amount. So that would be the main thing. We're aiming to push out the minting feature in early Q1 next year. So right after the new year, the team will be back and we'll be working on that. Hopefully we can launch it before the end of January. That's the plan. Oh, wow. It's a very good question with a very, very long answer. So I think the simplest utility of the V2 NFTs for the league is, of course, what I mentioned earlier. The more NFTs you have, the rarer the NFTs you own, you're just going to have more points for the league, and you'll be ranked according to the points, which will allow you to earn rewards in the form of salad tokens, right? So that is the most basic um, way of gaining an advantage by owning these NFTs. I think the other ways for people to get an advantage for owning these NFTs lies with the new features that we are planning to release as well, right? So one of the things that we are planning to do is to allow people to go do daily quests, daily challenges, and the NFTs that you own will affect your ability to do more difficult quests, which will allow you to get better rewards, right? So the quests that I'm talking about, they're not going to be like, oh, like a Twitter post and all of that, but literally like, okay, I'm gonna fight this dragon. I need like certain level of combat points in order to challenge this monster in order to win, and I'll get shards and collectibles in terms of the rewards and sometimes even tokens, right? So having a rarer NFTs, better equipment, is definitely going to help you there. I think further down the line, if you guys have been following the roadmap, the Celestial Arena is also a feature that we're very, very excited about. So that would be more of a PvP interaction between different users. And essentially, again, the rarer the equipment you own, the higher your combat points, the more likely it is for you to actually win the battle and earn the rewards. So I think all in all, it's like, the rarer the NFTs, the better the NFTs you have, the more rewards you are going to earn, right? And because all of the rewards are tied to credits as well as like the salad token, the more people participate, the more likely it is that the rewards will actually be worth more, right? So some of you guys have been commenting that, oh, okay, it's such a good deal now. Like we just released the credit chest, like I think 2 days ago. A few of our members have been abusing it, and they've been like, okay, it's just 1,000 credits for. They got like 3 legendaries out of it, and they said like it's very affordable, right? And of course it is, because salad's like 1 cent now for the token. If the token goes up to 10 cents, 20 cents, like all of the NFTs you would have gotten would be essentially be worth more. So I think not financial advice, obviously, but the way that we have structured all of the features, all of the NFTs, the whole ecosystem essentially is really around the token in itself. And the more things that we build, then early adopters are going to be rewarded.